How's it going, guys? Today I'll be comparing the Moza Mini P, which I'm on right now with my GH5, the Moza Mini MX, and the Moza Mini S or SE. I'm gonna go through each one and give you guys my thoughts on which one is better or has the advantage over the other. So let's start off with the Moza Mini S Essential. This one is the oldest one out of the bunch, and you can find it for like $70 to $80. Personally, I don't think I would recommend getting this gimbal anymore, just because the MX that came out later is just an improvement on every aspect of the gimbal. One of my biggest reasons to get the SE is if you really like to have a lot of buttons to access your apps. And if you do get the S version with the extended selfie stick, that's only if you really want to get that feature. But other than that, MX is just the way to go. Obviously, the next gimbal I'm going to talk about is the MX. This one you can find for about 90 bucks, and even though it's more expensive, I think it's worth it. It's smaller, it's easy to use, better ergonomics, and for the smoothness factor, it's about the same or even better. So one of my favorite things about this gimbal is being able to easily switch modes just with a single tap of a button. And the new tripod placement is a bit weird at first, but after using it for a while, it is more stable and I can get more smoother shots with it while walking or just tanning and stuff like that. Now, I don't really have any big cons about this gimbal. It is not the smallest or more compact travel gimbal, but I would say it's just kind of overwhelming to a lot of beginner first-timer gimbal users. But I can say that to all the Moza Mini gimbals because I feel like all of them, or just Moza Mini in general, just focuses more on the filmmakers that kind of know what they're doing and really focuses on just strictly getting to all their modes, quick access to what they need. So now moving on to the Moza Mini P, this one is the all-in-one gimbal you need if you travel or use a lot of lightweight gear. You can use this gimbal with phones, action cameras, point and shoot, mirrorless cameras like the Sony a6000 series since they're so small. Right now, I do have a GH5 on there with a super lightweight lens. Anything more than this, it's not gonna work. Right now, I'm already pushing it, so it's been working fine. I think it's doing great. The motors aren't really giving out. So far, it's great if you're just using something lightweight. A very common question people ask me on the Moza SE video is, can it work with action cameras? And no, it can't because it's really meant for smartphones. But this one on the Moza Mini P, obviously you can do it. Now, in terms of getting this gimbal as your first gimbal, I wouldn't really recommend it. I don't think it's that beginner friendly because a lot of times, or nowadays, these gimbals do have locking joints or locking parts on each motor, so it makes it easier to actually balance. This one, there's less of that. There's not much locking points. You can lock them, but it's not for balancing purposes, it's more for putting it away. Now, this gimbal does come with its own case, which is a great thing, but the con here is that you would have to reset the whole gimbal, like put it back in its normal state for it to fit. So if you only need this gimbal to always have easy access to, put your camera back on, it's kind of annoying to reset it all the time and adjust it back and rebalancing it. If you only shoot with lightweight gear that's under 2 pounds, then this gimbal is all you really need. The only hassle is that you have to learn how to balance everything. And once you know how to do that, this gimbal is super easy to use. Now, this gimbal is bigger than the SE and MX, so that's one trade-off you have to make. I know it's bigger, but then again, it is an all-in-one gimbal. Now, this gimbal does cost 200 bucks, which is really expensive compared to the other two. For the quality, it is slightly better. The handle is still all plasticky, but the bracket and the mounting is all metal. So it does come with the phone clamp inside the case, but I would say it feels pretty cheap. So for my final thoughts, this gimbal, the Moza Mini P, is great for the ones who loves being minimal, who doesn't want to carry a gimbal for their smartphone and another gimbal for their bigger camera. So that's my video on the Moza Mini P, MX, and SE. If you do like this video or find it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. You can find me over at Instagram. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.